What's good, everybody? Welcome to Outside the Playbook. OKC, Houston Rockets just went final 125-124. We're going to break it down in just a minute. Get this video a like, subscribe to the channel, hit my theme music.
I'm tired of being humble. I'm tired of letting people think they got a chance. This is my show. This is my camera. I run it. Oh!
All right. NBA season is officially back. It brought a tear to my eye to hear that NBA on NBC theme music, but we're not going to waste too much of your time. 125, 124, double overtime thriller to start the season, and what a way to kick it off. OKC completes the comeback. All right, they complete the comeback. Kevin Durant, 23 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists. Fouled out late. We'll talk about him in just a second. Jabari Smith, 16 points, 5 rebounds. You get 4 points and 13 rebounds from Steven Adams. Very surprised that he went with the double big lineup with Steven Adams, considering, I mean, last year he didn't get that much time. Year before that, he didn't get much time. I think he may have tried to compete with their size a little bit, so that's why he went to that lineup. But, man, Sengun. I got to learn how to say this dude's names properly because 39 points, 7 assists, 11 rebounds. I said in the preseason, I said he needed to have a Nikola Jokic-like impact. The man had a darn near 39-point triple-double to start the season. 5 threes, 10 from 11 from the free throw line. You get 18 from Amin Thompson, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. Had him running the point for most of the game. We'll talk about that also in just a second. Not much off the bench. Nothing really to talk about here. This. You get 35 from SGA. Extremely quiet. Quiet as a church mouse, all right? 11 points through 3 quarters. He takes off for 24 going into the final quarter, and then overtime 1, overtime 2. You get 14 from Case and Wallace. Spent most of the game playing defense on Amin Thompson. Didn't look good early. He had a couple key stops and a key couple possessions where he got, tip balls and stuff like that. All right, man. 28 from Chet Holmgren. One thing I'll say about Chet, when you look across and you see somebody that you idolize, somebody that you respect, somebody that you emulate, that's how you want to come out and play. That's how you want to start the game off. 18 points in the first half, 20 points in the first half, something like that. Came out of the gate. He kept them afloat early because, like I said, SGA didn't really have it going. You get 10 off the bench from Wiggins. You get 16 from AJ Mitchell. Listen, I'm not saying he's got to have 16 every night. I'm saying for 15 minutes of play, if he can give you something in the realm of maybe extra 10 points a night, that's going to be big for this team because, like I said, they didn't make any moves over the summer. So if they get, just contributions like that throughout the course of the season, you know what Caruso is going to do. You know what Jalen Williams is going to do. You know what, when he's healthy, we'll talk about Jalen Williams not being healthy tonight, but you know what he brings to the table. If you can get an extra 10 here and there from him, Case and Wallace is going to space the floor. This is going to be a dangerous team again. That's going to further their opportunities to win a championship. But going down the list, man, like I said, Sengun, 39, 7, and 11. Now, he was feeling it, got hot. I'm not expecting 39 points every single night. But he is going to put a lot of pressure on the defensive bigs every single game. He's going to be a point of attack for them, and in my opinion, because it's not necessarily going to be Kevin Durant. He's going to draw so much attention. He's going to draw traps, double teams, and it's going to give Sengun, a lot more opportunities to score at the rim, a lot more space to operate. Amin Thompson, he's going to have a whole side of the basketball court to operate with. But Sengun played out of his mind tonight. And in my opinion, I think he's going to be an all-star. I think he can make one of the all-NBA teams. But if he can give them the ball handling, the offensive, initiating offense, running that point center spot, this team is going to be dangerous. But I'll talk about it in just a second. My issue is with Kevin Durant. And one of his biggest things was when he was in Phoenix was, why am I just running to the corner? Why am I just standing off to the corner? Why is there no actions being ran to get me the basketball? Why am I constantly in a situation where I'm off the ball, standing around, watching the play being, taking place? Why am I doing that? We seen periodically he was doing the exact same thing tonight, not even looking to come get the basketball. Granted, Lou Dort was playing face guarding, okay? Playing great defense. I'll give him that. But you're Kevin Durant. This is not anything we haven't seen before. This is not a defense in the NBA that you've never seen before. So I was kind of just confused by his passiveness tonight, even though he's on a new team, even though, it's a situation where he's trying to integrate himself. There's certain situations in the game where you got to be KD. Just go be KD. Don't worry about, you got it. Don't worry about, run that action. No, give me the basketball. Y'all need to give me the rock and get out the way. Needs a point guard. That's one of the biggest things. Amin Thompson, I don't think he's the answer, simply because you're going to need him to score the basketball more. That takes a lot of energy out of him, bringing the ball up consistently. And then you also, in the same breath, you got to get downhill and attack the basket, put pressure on the rim consistently. That's going to take a lot out of him, because then you go to the other side and now he's picking up SGA defensively, and he's being charged with guarding the best player on the opposite team. So all of those responsibilities are going to wear him down, and it could cause injury, because we've seen it happen time and time again. When players overload their responsibilities, the wear and tear throughout the course of the year is inevitable. He may face some injuries this year if they don't give him some ball handling help. Reed Shepherd, absolutely no clue what he was doing half of the game. In my mind, okay, if I'm a young point guard, my first and foremost thought is, if I'm on a team with LeBron, how do I get him the basketball as much as possible? If I'm on the court with Steph Curry, how often can I get him the basketball? Kevin Durant, same thing. How often am I able to get him the basketball? Look, there's opportunities where, you can look to score, you look for your own shot, present yourself, get downhill, get to the rim. I understand those opportunities. But it was like a clip of Norris Cole when he was talking about when he's playing Miami. He came off a screen and shot a pull-up jumper, and LeBron is waiting, D-Wade is waiting, Ray Allen is waiting, and Chris Bosh is all waiting. That's not the shot for you, my boy. That's not the shot for you. You might work on it, but that's not your shot at this particular juncture of the game, especially in a close game against a team just hung a banner up. You have an opportunity to steal one on their home court. Get off of it. All right. Find KD, get him the rock. When I look at the other side, OKC, I think they need J-Dub ASAP, because it's one thing to have Chet. Chet, like I said, 28 points tonight. He could space the floor, really attack the middle of that zone. But somebody that's going to handle the basketball and get their own shot, I think that's something that they're going to miss with J-Dub being out. Because, the plan of attack for the entirety of the game was double SGA, make him give up the rock. That was pretty much the plan of attack. When you look, SGA 1 for 9, Dort 0 for 8, 0 for 4 for Jalen Williams. And then you have everybody else, 3 for 8 from Wallace. Chet has 2 of his own, 2 from Caruso, 2 from Wiggins, 3 from AJ Mitchell. You may not get that every single night. You may not get that from everybody else every single night. So you need another guy that's going to put the same type of pressure on getting to the basket and also increase the amount of open looks that players are going to get. Because, look, if SGA doesn't come through with he had 35 on the night, 11 going into the fourth. So that 24 points in the last 3 stanzas, if he doesn't come up with that, they don't win this game. And it's not even close. They probably lose this game by double digits in the fourth quarter. So you need to have somebody that's going to put the same pressure on the rim, handling the basketball, creating their own opportunities, like we seen from J-Dub in the NBA Finals versus the Indiana Pacers. That was a big, big, big part of what they were able to accomplish in the NBA Finals. Zone might have exposed something. The zone might have exposed something, and I'm not saying in a sense like OKC can't shoot, right? They shot the ball decent throughout the course of the year. You don't win 68 games without shooting a decent percentage from 3. What I mean is OKC doesn't want to rely on their 3-point shot tonight, because Houston went zone. You have a 6'7" point guard a 6'11 shooting guard, 6'11 small forward, 6'11 power forward, and a 6'11 center, and you had open shots. You have to take those. If they're zoning you up like that and they're giving you open looks at the three, you have to take them. And that's what I've seen pretty much the entire game. Those threes were wide open looks. We need those shots to go in. We need you to shoot those shots. But that's not what OKC likes to live on. They like getting to the basket, SGA, the mid-range, like putting pressure on the rim with, Chet and J-Dub and, Hartenstein crashing the glass and getting hustle plays from Caruso. That's the style of basketball they want to play. That hard-nosed, tough, grinded-out type game. And that's why you sprinkle shooters around the perimeter, so you get a mix of everything. But the focus is getting into the paint and attacking the paint. When they're forced to do things that they don't want to do, that's when they tend to struggle a little bit. But luckily, you have a guy like SGA, put the cape on, go to work, and I'm going to score 24 points in the fourth, first overtime and second overtime, and get the 1-point win. Chet can be an all-star this year. Now, obviously, J-Dub being out, he's going to get more opportunities, but I think he can be an all-star whether J-Dub was there or not, simply because every single year, it seems like he gets more and more aggressive offensively, and they look for things, particularly draw stuff up for him more and more as the year goes on. So I like the aggressiveness we've seen from him out the gate, but he ultimately just read what the defense was giving him, and they were giving him with that zone, the middle of the zone, which is you get to the middle of the zone, you bust that thing wide open. Whoa. Okay, so middle of the zone, that's where he was operating. That's where he got hot, took off from there. But I think he's going to have a big season. Now, the thing about this whole lineup with Houston, okay, you have Thompson, Sengun, Adams, Jabari, Kevin Durant. Off of the bench, it's a little light. It's super light, man. It's super light. DFS, Dorian Finney-Smith, he didn't check into the game. Jeff Green didn't check into the game. Jayshawn Tate didn't check in. J.D. Davison didn't check in. Off of the bench, you had Reed Shepherd, Okogie, Capella, and Easton. And Capella only played 8 minutes. For whatever reason, he didn't see the court a whole lot. He's got to, because Steven Adams looked gassed the entire second half. And they were just bathing him further and further out and making him actively move his feet, guard screening rolls, guard picking pops, things like that. They're gonna have to find a way to get Clint Capella some more minutes. But the biggest thing that I see with this lineup is, it was throughout the course of the game. Every single time they go take out the basketball, it was somebody forgetting, oh, we don't really have a point guard right now. So maybe one of us should probably go back and get the basketball so we can initiate offense. So that's something that's gonna take time, but great game top to bottom, man. That's how you start a season off. Great basketball, great defense, even though, like I said, 124, 125, you play 4 quarters and 2 extra overtimes. I'm not mad at it. All right, I'm not mad at it. In my opinion, the defense was pretty good. For the limitations of Houston not having a point guard, but they playing with the size, going to that zone, genius. OKC doing what they do. You put Caruso on Sengun because guess what? You remember what you did to Nikola Jokic. You put Dort on KD. Never really seen anything like him, but you kind of remember what you were able to do with Anthony Edwards. Force him further and further away from the basket, make him catch further out. You got to put the ball on the floor more than you probably want to get a shot off. So that's probably, that's not going to show up in the box score, but I still think it was a great game tonight. I need to see more from Kevin Durant, though, in terms of you got to be more aggressive and go get the basketball. That's all I got for Houston versus OKC. Give this video a like, subscribe to the channel. That's one more for the good guys.